guys, good afternoon. This is JeliMaurer and welcome to my video. For today's video guys, I'm going to share to you 40 random questions that I prepared in my 2020 US visa interview and their K1 visa or Fiance visa. And few tips also, what are the questions the consul asked me and how did I answer all those questions? And those questions that I prepared before my US visa and US embassy interview helps me a lot, even though we really don't know exactly what the consul might going to ask you. However, rest assured you already have series of answer what kind of questions might going or the consul might going to ask you. And the way you answered your questions too gives great impact to the consul's impression, whether he's going or she's going to approve your visa or not. So before I'm going to start the questions that I prepared, I'd like you to have a pen and a sheet of paper so that you can list down important questions that you need to ask more to your fiancé. And there's no harm of being prepared, so without further ado, let's get started. Okay, number 1. What is your fiancé's full name? Number 2. How old is your fiancé? Number 3. When is your fiancé's birthday? Number 4. Where is your fiancé's place of birth? Number 5. What are your fiancé's parents' name? Number 6. Where your fiancé live in the US? Number 7. How long is your fiancé live in his current address? Number 8. What does your fiancé do for a living? Number 9. What is your fiancé's annual salary? Number 10. Was your fiancé married previously? If your fiancé is been married before, you should have a copy of his divorce paper. How many times did your fiancé been divorced? How many what's your fiancé's ex-spouse's name and when they got divorced? This is very necessary that you need to know everything, because it might gives you ground that you failed to answer all this question during the consul might going to ask you, and it also gives you room for denial of your visa. In number 11, was your fiancé has children? Tell me about their names, birthday, and how old are they? Number 12, does your fiancé have siblings? What are their names? Number 13, when and how did you meet your fiancé? Some of their fiancé meet in online dating site, and you're going to tell them to the consul too that, oh, we're meeting in the online dating site, and you're going to specify what kind of dating site you've been met there, dating site that you've been into. And number 14, have you met your fiancé in person? When? 15. How much time you spent together in person? Number 16. How many times did you meet in person? 17. What do you and your fiancé have in common? Number 18. Who proposed? You or your fiancé? Describe the proposal. 19. How does your fiancé's family feel about the engagement? It's you and your fiancé's engagement. So number 20, what kind of things do you enjoy doing together? Number 21, how long did you date before getting engaged? Number 22, what is your fiance's religious background? Number 23, what is your fiance's hobbies and interests? Number 24, how much did your fiance spend on their trip to see you? Number 25, did you have engagement party and who was there? Number 26, what is your fiance's car, model and color? 27, what is your fiance's favorite movie, musical artist, and food? Number 28, do you know any of your fiance's friends? 29, is your fiance ever been convicted of a crime? And if ever your answer is yes, you need to secure a police report or a hard copy that it's not that serious, and how many times he was been convicted of a crime. So number 30, where does your fiance work? 31, how many days a week does your fiance work? 32, when do you plan on entering the US? Number 33, does your fiance have any pets? What are their names? 34, do you have any wedding plans? How many people do you expect at the wedding? 35, do you and your fiance have plans to have children in the future? Oh, you are going to state there yes, no. Number 36, how do you picture your life in 5 years? Number 37, do you have honeymoon plans? 38, where do you plan to live in the United States? 39, what is your fiance's phone number? Number 40 and the last one, what is your fiance's email address? So those are the 40 questions, guys, that I prepared, and I put answer of what of those series of questions. And though we really don't know exactly it might going to ask you during your interview or not, but it's better to be prepared some series of questions and you have probable answer to that questions too. I'm going to share to you what are the questions the consul asked me during my interview. That what is your fiance's full name? I give my answer. And another tips, if you're going to answer the consul's question, guys, you need to direct to the point to what the question or what the consul asked you. Don't make it too long, because your answer will also have, some of the consul might going to ask how firm your answer is, and he's going to repeat that one later on if you have really a firm and concise answered. So number 1, what is your fiance's full name? If the consul going to ask you that, you're going to give the consul your fiance's given name, middle name, and the last name. Number 2, where does he live in the US? Give the street number. If he is living in an apartment, give his number. if applicable, town, state, and zip code. And where is your fiance work? I said, oh, he's working blah blah blah. And then number 4, what's your fiance do for a living? I said, like this, like that. And where and when did you meet your fiance? I said, I meet my fiance in a dating site called Filipino Cupid. And it was May 18, 2018 that I met him. And number 6, how much is your fiance's annual income? Take note, guys, that when you're going to answer this question, like this question, it should be matched to the form I-134 that the petitioner is been preparing, or the affidavit of support, because there was stated there how much is the annual income of your fiance, and it should be matched. Because guys, take note that every documents that you give during your interview, because you have many steps or series of windows you're going to go inside in the Manila US Embassy, and you already in the preliminary interview you've been asked where's your fiance live, and then it is a Filipino who's going to ask you about that. And then they're going to get all the documents that they needed, and in your final interview, that is American consul, and they're going to base your answer on the documents that you submitted to them. And then the other one is, have you met your fiance in person? I said yes. How many times? 3 times. When is that? I said September 2018, May 2019, and October 2019. How many days he spent when visiting you? I said he only spent almost 2 weeks, because he's working in the US. And number 10, is your fiance convicted with a crime? I said no. 12. The other question, what do you and your fiance do when he's visiting you? I said, since we shared common interests, we like watching movies, playing games, and he usually spent playing with my niece and nephews, and spent quality time to my family in my hometown. And the last one, do you know what his favorite movie? I said, Star Wars, ma'am. She said, yeah, I also like Star Wars, with matching smile. Then, at that time, my nervous calmed down. And after that, she handed me 2 flyers about domestic violence, or what hotline you're going to call if so ever it happens to you there in the US. And she told me, and finally, I will approve your visa and expect your visa in 1 to 2 weeks. And congratulations, welcome to America. That's what the consul said to me. And I am extremely happy that time that I made it. My knees were shaking with gratitude, and I can't believe I made it. And we only took 5 to 10 minutes, and she didn't ask any more supporting documents, even though I have lots of documents along in my hand, but she never asked anything in my documents. And additional tip, guys, for my tips, guys, I prepared 6 tips for you guys when you were having your US visa interview. First is complete your documents to avoid any administrative processing that will take long of your visa. And also, what is worse is it might lead to denial of your visa, or yeah. And if you want to know, guys, what documents that I prepared during my US visa interview, just comment down below so that I can give you I could share to you my experience too, or how did I prepare my documents. Number 2 is prepare yourself. Practice answering question at home and fight for your fear, guys. I know you were I know you were struggling for your nervousness. What if you're going to, mental block? But trust yourself too. And number 3 is, this is really my source of that this is really my source, or the reason behind why I made it, because pray, guys, for heavenly guidance and wisdom. Because no matter how prepared you are, how complete your documents, if you will not be guided or you will not seek help by the heaven, then you cannot make it. Number 4, come to your appointment schedule earlier, at least 30 minutes to 1 hour. It's better to wait than being late, because they're not going to entertain you if you're going to be late. So, number 5, do not bring any gadgets during your visa interview. And number 6, tell this thing to yourself that if I made it, you can also make it. And if others make it, you can also make it. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope I impart to you some information that might help you during your US visa interview. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell button below so that you will be notified for the upcoming videos I'm going to upload. Thank you.